eggs are one of the most nutritious foods you can eat after 60. High-quality protein, essential vitamins, healthy fats, and one of the most affordable sources of nutrition available anywhere. Subscribe to this channel for new health videos, made specifically for you. But here is what almost nobody tells you. The way most people over 60 prepare, store, and eat eggs is quietly working against them. Not because eggs are dangerous, but because 7 very common mistakes turn one of the healthiest foods on the planet into something that can raise your infection risk, spike your inflammation, destroy the most valuable nutrients, or put unnecessary strain on your heart. By the end of this video, you will know all 7, and you will never make them the same way again. I am ranking them from least to most dangerous. So, stay with me, because mistakes 4, 5, and 6 are the ones that genuinely surprise people. Mistake number 7. Throwing away the yolk. For decades, people were told the egg yolk was the enemy. Cholesterol, fat, heart disease. Throw it out. Eat only the white. Stay safe. That advice is now outdated. And for people over 60, it may actually be harmful. The egg white contains protein. That is essentially all it contains. The yolk contains almost everything else. Vitamin D, which over 60% of older adults are deficient in. Vitamin B12, critical for nerve function and brain health. Choline, essential for memory and cognitive function, and one of the most under-consumed nutrients in adults over 60. Lutein and zeaxanthin, the 2 compounds most strongly linked to protection against macular degeneration, the leading cause of blindness in older adults. And omega-3, fatty acids, especially in pasture-raised eggs. When you throw away the yolk, you are throwing away the most nutritionally dense part of the egg and keeping the least interesting part. The concern about dietary cholesterol raising blood cholesterol has been substantially revised in the research literature. For most healthy adults, the liver compensates when dietary cholesterol increases by producing less of its own. The net effect on blood cholesterol is minimal. If your doctor has specifically told you to limit egg yolks because of your individual cholesterol situation, follow their advice. But the blanket instruction to avoid yolks that most people received decades ago is not supported by current evidence. Eat the whole egg. Mistake number 6. Storing eggs on the door of the refrigerator. Every refrigerator sold has a convenient egg tray built into the door. And that is almost the worst possible place to store your eggs. Here is why. The door of the refrigerator is the warmest section. Every time you open the fridge, the door swings outward and everything on it is exposed to room temperature air. Multiple times a day, temperature fluctuations accelerate bacterial growth on the shell and inside the egg itself. They also break down the internal membrane that keeps the yolk centered and the egg fresh. After 60, your immune system is less capable of fighting off bacterial infection than it was at 40. A contaminated egg that a younger person might shake off in 24 hours can put an older adult in hospital. Store your eggs in the original carton on the middle shelf of the refrigerator, toward the back where the temperature is coldest and most consistent. The carton matters too. It protects the eggs from absorbing odors from other foods through their porous shells. Mistake number 5. Eating eggs every single day without rotation. Eggs are healthy, but eating any single food in large amounts every day creates problems, and eggs are no exception. The issue here has 2 layers. First, raw or undercooked eggs contain a protein called avidin that binds to biotin, vitamin B7, and prevents your body from absorbing it. Biotin is essential for nerve function, hair health, and metabolism. Eating large amounts of egg daily, especially with runny whites, can gradually create a biotin deficiency over time. Second, eggs are a common food sensitivity trigger, especially in older adults. Food sensitivities are different from allergies. They do not cause an immediate reaction. Instead, they create low-grade inflammation that can show up as fatigue, joint aches, digestive discomfort, or brain fog. If you have been eating eggs daily for years and have unexplained symptoms like these, it is worth removing eggs completely for 4 to 6 weeks and observing what changes. The practical guidance is simple. Enjoy eggs 4 to 5 times per week, rather than every single day without variation. Rotate with other protein sources, fish, legumes, lean poultry, and your body gets the benefits of eggs without the risks of overexposure. Mistake number 4. Cooking eggs at too high a heat. This is the one that surprises people most, because high heat feels thorough, safe, properly cooked. But here is what actually happens when you cook eggs in a very hot pan. The protein in eggs is delicate. When exposed to high heat, those proteins do not just cook, they oxidize. And oxidized proteins create compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGS. AGS are inflammatory compounds that accumulate in tissues over time. Research links high AGE intake to accelerated aging of blood vessels, worsening of insulin resistance, kidney stress, and cognitive decline. The body produces some AGEs naturally during metabolism. But diet adds significantly to the load, and high dry heat cooking is one of the biggest contributors. The cholesterol in the yolk is also vulnerable to oxidation at high heat. Oxidized cholesterol is far more damaging to arterial walls than unoxidized cholesterol. This is one of the mechanisms behind why the same food cooked differently produces dramatically different health outcomes. The scrambled egg fried in a screaming hot pan until brown and rubbery is not the same food as the egg gently poached or softly scrambled over low heat. Cook your eggs over low to medium heat. Slow scrambled eggs, gently poached, soft boiled. The whites should be just set and the yolk still slightly soft if possible. Not only is this safer for your cardiovascular system, the texture is also considerably better. And use a small amount of butter or extra virgin olive oil rather than seed oils like sunflower or corn oil, which degrade at high heat and contribute additional oxidized fats. Mistake number 3. Using raw eggs in recipes. Raw eggs in homemade mayonnaise, raw eggs in salad dressings, raw egg yolk in a protein shake, a raw egg cracked over pasta. These habits carry a risk that becomes significantly more serious after 60. Salmonella bacteria can be present inside a perfectly normal-looking egg with an intact shell. You cannot tell by looking, you cannot tell by smell. In a young, healthy adult, salmonella infection is unpleasant. Typically 24 to 72 hours of vomiting and diarrhea. Most recover without treatment. After 60, that same infection can become life-threatening. Your digestive immune defenses are reduced. Your kidney function has less reserve to handle the dehydration from vomiting and diarrhea. If you are on blood pressure medication or diuretics, fluid loss hits harder and faster, and if you are diabetic, an infection sends blood sugar into dangerous territory. Salmonella hospitalizes tens of thousands of older adults in the United States every year. It kills a disproportionate number of them. The fix is simple. If a recipe calls for raw egg, use pasteurized eggs instead. These are available in most large supermarkets. They have been gently heated to a temperature that kills salmonella without cooking the egg. They look identical to regular eggs and behave identically in recipes. If you cannot find pasteurized eggs, cook the egg fully before consuming, no exceptions. Mistake number 2. Pairing eggs with high-sodium processed meats. The classic combination. Eggs with bacon, eggs with sausage, eggs with ham, eggs with processed cheese slices. The eggs themselves are not the problem here. The problem is what they are sitting beside on the plate. Processed and cured meats are among the highest sodium foods in the average diet. A single rasher of bacon contains roughly 200 to 250 milligrams of sodium. 3 rashers with 2 eggs takes you to over 600 milligrams of sodium before your morning is even finished, a quarter of the daily recommended limit, before you have had anything else. After 60, sodium sensitivity increases. The kidneys become less efficient at clearing excess sodium, so it stays in the bloodstream longer and holds on to water. Blood pressure rises, and sustained elevated blood pressure accelerates the very arterial damage that eggs as a standalone food are completely neutral on. There is also a concerning connection between processed meat consumption and colorectal cancer. The World Health Organization classifies processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen, the same category as tobacco, based on sufficient evidence that it causes cancer. The mechanism is not fully understood, but nitrites used as preservatives are strongly implicated. Eggs paired with bacon or sausage every morning is not a healthy breakfast. It is a healthy food, surrounded by problematic ones. Replace the bacon with smoked salmon. Replace the sausage with a handful of cherry tomatoes and half an avocado. Add wilted spinach sautéed in olive oil. That is the breakfast that actually delivers on the promise that eggs on their own make. Mistake number 1. The most dangerous egg mistake of all. Washing eggs before storing them. This is the number 1 mistake on this list. And it is one that many people do instinctively because it feels like the clean, safe, responsible thing to do. It is not. A fresh egg is coated in something called a bloom or cuticle. It is an extremely thin, natural protective layer applied by the hen at the very last moment of laying. This coating seals the approximately 8,000 tiny pores in the eggshell. It is a natural antibacterial barrier that keeps moisture in and bacteria out. When you wash an egg, you strip that bloom away completely. And here is the problem. The eggshell is not airtight without the bloom. Those 8,000 pores are now open. Bacteria on the wet shell surface during washing. Whatever was on your hands on the surface in the water can now pass directly through the shell into the interior of the egg. Washing eggs does not protect you. It creates the contamination pathway you were trying to prevent. Leave your eggs unwashed. Wipe off any visible dirt with a dry paper towel if necessary. Refrigerate them promptly. Cook them fully when there is any doubt about freshness. Now let me give you 3 professional preparation tips that make eggs safer and easier to handle after 60. Tip 1. The float test for freshness. Fill a bowl with cold water. Place the egg in gently. A fresh egg sinks and lies flat on the bottom. The air cell inside is tiny. An egg that stands upright on the bottom is several weeks old. The air cell has expanded, but the egg is still safe to eat, well cooked. An egg that floats to the top is bad. Discard it immediately without cracking it open. This test is reliable, free, and takes 15 seconds. Use it whenever you are uncertain about an egg's age. Tip 2. Crack eggs on a flat surface, not on the edge of a bowl. Cracking an egg on the sharp edge of a bowl pushes shell fragments inward into the egg. Those fragments can carry bacteria from the outside of the shell directly into the food. Crack on the flat countertop instead. The shell cracks cleanly without driving fragments inward. If your hands are less steady than they used to be, an egg cracker tool is a worthwhile purchase. They cost very little and eliminate the problem entirely. Tip 3. Soft scrambled over low heat with a lid. Add your eggs to a cold non-stick pan. Do not preheat. Add a small knob of butter or a teaspoon of olive oil. Turn the heat to low, stir slowly and continuously. The moment the eggs begin to look barely set, almost still slightly wet, take the pan off the heat completely. Put a lid on it for 60 seconds. The residual heat finishes the cooking gently without any burning or oxidation. The result is the softest, most flavorful scrambled eggs you have ever had. No brown edges, no rubbery texture, and a fraction of the AGEs and oxidized cholesterol produced by high heat cooking. This is the method used by professional chefs. It is also the method that most protects the nutritional integrity of what you are eating. Let me pull all 7 mistakes together one final time so you leave with a clear picture. Mistake 7 is throwing away the yolk. The yolk is where the nutrition lives. Eat the whole egg. Mistake 6, storing eggs on the refrigerator door. Move them to the middle shelf in the original carton. Temperature stability matters more than convenience. Mistake 5, eating eggs every single day without a rotation. 4 to 5 times a week is the practical sweet spot. Rotate with fish, legumes, and poultry. Mistake 4, cooking at too high a heat. Low and slow. Poached, soft-boiled, or gently scrambled. High dry heat creates AGEs and oxidized cholesterol that your arteries pay for over time. Mistake 3, the using raw eggs in recipes. After 60, salmonella is not an inconvenience, it is a genuine medical risk. Use pasteurized eggs in any recipe that calls for raw egg. Mistake 2, pairing eggs with processed meats. The eggs are not the problem, the bacon, the sausage, and the processed cheese are. Replace them with smoked salmon, avocado, tomatoes, or wilted spinach. Mistake 1, washing eggs before storing them. You are removing the natural protective bloom and opening a direct pathway for bacteria into the egg. Leave them unwashed, dry wipe if needed. Refrigerate promptly. And the 3 tips: float test for freshness. Sink flat is fresh, floating is discard. Crack on a flat surface, not on the bowl edge. Soft scramble in a cold pan over low heat with the lid on at the end. These are small changes. Each one on its own takes seconds. Together, they transform one of the most affordable nutritious foods available into something that is genuinely working for your health rather than quietly against it. A word before I finish. Everything here is general health information. If you have a specific medical condition, cardiovascular disease, kidney disease, diabetes, or a known egg sensitivity, your doctor or a registered dietitian should be involved in your food decisions. This video gives you the broad picture. Your doctor knows your specific numbers. And if you currently eat eggs with bacon every morning and feel completely fine, I am not telling you to feel worried. I am telling you there is a better version of the same breakfast that costs the same, takes the same time, and does considerably more for your health over the next decade. Please subscribe to this channel. I post new videos to help you stay healthy. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself.